All right, welcome back to the Chasing Winners College Football Edition. I'm Kyle Massaloni here with JP Lyon. Week 13 this week. It's over. It's the last week of the regular season.
It's not over yet.
It's not over yet, but it's the last week of the regular season, and that makes me very sad. Also, what makes me sad, what makes me angry, is USC is still ranked number 6 below LSU. And if they win out, it's possible they don't get in. Just what is going on there?
They they've beaten Utah, and that's about it. Correct? Is Oregon State still ranked? Maybe.
Oregon State is ranked.
They're
I
going to be
think
playing Notre
I think
Dame as
Utah's
15.
actually their one loss.
I'm sorry, they beat UCLA is what I meant to say there.
Yeah.
Um, beat UCLA, beat Oregon State. Those are probably their two best wins, which isn't great. But LSU's best wins are Bama and Ole Miss. Ole Miss is hanging in there at 20, which is ridiculous. Um, it shouldn't matter in the end.
Also
What?
got blown out by Tennessee, and
Yep.
Tennessee's not looking so good anymore. So
Yeah, I mean they struggled with Cockbemmer and losing Hooker does not help them. So um, yeah, I mean it for the rankings right now, I don't have a huge issue with them just because in the end, if LSU loses to Georgia, the loser of Michigan Ohio State's out, LSU's out, USC, TCU, Georgia, and the winner of Michigan Ohio State are probably in. Because TCU is probably not going to lose to Iowa State. It is setting up nicely for TCU Kansas State. That's actually going to be a really nice rematch with Kansas State ranked 12 right now. But if TCU wins out, then those four should be pretty locked up. But I guess we never really know how the next two games are going to go for those three teams.
yeah, it should be interesting this week. We have 4 conference championship clinching scenarios, and I can't believe I'm saying this. The Power Six. Um, we have we have 4 of those this weekend. We're gonna get to all those as well as some other fun games going on. Let's start off on Friday, Black Friday at noon on ABC. I have PTSD of this time slot because it's the time slot that killed Miami's 2017 season. Um, Number 19 Tulane going on the road to Cincinnati, to number 24 Cincinnati. The winner of this game going to the AAC championship game. Cincinnati 2-point favorites. JP, seems weird that Cincinnati's 2-point favorites here, given how everybody's been so high on Tulane for a while.
Yeah, I think the loss to UCF kind of dampened those expectations. And I could not tell you what Tulane's last game was. Did they play last week?
I'm trying to pull it up, but my computer is acting up again as it was before.
Yeah, we got two of Kyle's freezes out of the way before recording started. So we're hoping that.
I just actually got an error message on ESPN.
They beat SMU, 59-24. So I mean that was a get right game for them, and I don't know. I like Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati in this game. I like Cincy -2 at home. I wasn't reading into that line as much as you must have been. I'm just trying to base this off of I bet on Tulane already once this year. It did not work out for me. I watched Cincinnati play in person one time, and they looked pretty nice until the end. So I'm probably going to go Cincinnati -2, and I'm just thankful that we're talking about this game and not the other 11 a.m. Central game on Black Friday.
Yeah, you're lucky because whenever we talk about that team, it doesn't go well for you. So
Correct.
so it looks like it's a big ESPN problem or a Google Chrome problem because nothing's working on my end. But I'm on Cincinnati -2 here. I think they're the better football team. The same exact things I said about UCF in this situation, considering I'm such a G5 expert and know everything about these teams.
Yeah, the
Great
G5
program.
experts are back this week, first game.
Great program, been there before. They're going to do it again.
Cincinnati beat UCF too, right? Or was it the other way around?
I wish my ESPN worked here. Here we go. We're back. Give me one.
UCF beat Cincy at home. That's right.
Okay.
That was October 29th, so 3-4 weeks ago.
So that would make for a rematch in the AAC championship.
Oh, would it? UCF Cincy.
I believe so. Let me see how the standings play out here. Oh no. Tulane would make it over UCF off the tiebreak.
Really?
Oh no, UCF beat Tulane.
Yeah, UCF would have to.
I'm an idiot. So UCF would make it over Tulane. Yeah. So we would get a rematch.
Essentially, this is just winner of this goes to the. Yeah, winner of this game would go to the AAC Conference Championship, assuming that UCF wins. Is that how that works?
Yes.
Okay.
And UCF is playing South Florida. South Florida is atrocious, so that should be a win for them.
Outside of the one game against Florida, yes.
Yes, of course. Now we go to the real day that college football is played. Saturday noon, Fox, the big noon. You know the deal here. The game, number 3 Michigan, number 2 Ohio State. Ohio State 7.5 point favorites at home.
Yeah, it's finally here. They both made it undefeated. I still have Ryan put out Ohio State to go undefeated in the regular season at the start of the year. So I still have that plus 125. I think is what I had. And then I, being an idiot, took the at least one of Desmond Howard's playoff teams makes the playoff bet. So I took that, and that was like plus 400. So I have that as well. Ball State just scored a touchdown, and
Oh Jesus!
that. So I feel like one of those is fairly secure because either Ohio State wins and cashes that bet, or Michigan wins, and then as long as they don't lose to the winner of the Big Ten West, aka right now it looks like Iowa, a rematch of Michigan-Iowa from last year. That's what we'd be getting. As long as they don't. Go ahead.
So exciting! I'll be watching the ACC championship game, which will actually be a good game if that's the case.
Is that the same time?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be watching Clemson UNC as well. Now who am I kidding? I'd be watching both games. Well, but as long as they don't lose that, then I hit the plus 400. So I don't feel like I can lose very much here. As far as this game, I know Ohio State's at home, and I know that they should win this game because I feel like they're the better team. If Blake Corum plays, I feel like Michigan can cover. It feels like a game where neither team is going to get blown out just because their offenses are so good. From what I've seen, Blake Corum's healthy. There was a video of him in the last 2 days handing out 300 Thanksgiving turkeys with his NIL money. And he was just walking around delivering them to people. I don't think you'd be doing that if your knee was really hurt. So I'm going to guess that he's going to play. And because of that, I'm going to take Michigan plus 7.5.
Also, I hate to bring weather into play because we always do it, and unless it's like really, really, really bad, it seems to not affect games that much. But Saturday in Columbus, supposed to be a lot of rain, supposed to be thunderstorms. I feel like that benefits Michigan a bit.
We might have to tell Ryan that for his best bet. See if he wants to change it.
Oh, is he on Ohio State?
No, did you see? Well, I'll tell it in the I'll he can deal with it. We'll bring it up later in the best bet section, but he's on something in this game.
Okay, yeah. So then we're not gonna tell him that for now. We're gonna best bet. But yeah, I'm on Michigan plus 7.5 because I feel like that benefits them, especially if Blake Corum's playing. So
yeah, the running game.
So I think they're gonna keep it close and keep it within a touchdown at least. And yeah, I think there's something we forgot to cover here at the top. I was gonna try to do it naturally, but we had another lead change. It's better to just abruptly do it. We had another lead change this week.
We did, yeah. I had another great week. Another week where I lost a total of 3 games. Wait, that number I had was wrong.
Oh God.
I went 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I went better than I thought because I forgot the Tulane game that we both hit. So last week I went 10, 3, and 1. Kyle went 8, 5, and 1. So I beat him by 2 games. I'm back on top by 1.5 games. Kyle's 93, 89, and 4. I'm 94, 87, and 5 on the season. I won by 1 in the podcast picks. As you can see on the screen, I did end up taking Baylor plus 2.5 in real life. So that hit, as long as I don't take Baylor on the podcast, then Baylor can cover. They can't win. And the end of that game sucked. But 2, 3, and 1 on best bets for Kyle, or podcast picks for Kyle last week hit his best bet. 3, 2, and 1 for me hit my best bet. Ryan mentioned his best bet on Twitter when he was promoting our podcast, or the college football podcast, and that did not hit. And if you took the podcast parlay, hit again. 3 and 1 on the season, 2 weeks in a row now. We're up 4.06 units on the season. And I'm beating Kyle by 7 games on podcast picks, and he's beating me by 2 on best bets.
Nice. Another lead change. It's going to come down to the wire this year.
Yeah, it's going to be those bowl games. Honestly, it's scaring me a lot. Just every day looking up and I have to make more bets and hope to God I don't lose.
because of how bowl season went for you last year compared to me. I mean, I killed you in bowl season, but you just killed me before that. So
yeah,
maybe it'll be the reverse this year.
Fingers crossed.
Now we talk about back to the games. One of the most fun stories of last week. Cocktober. They took a game off in Cocktober and just moved it to November.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Cocks just demolished Tennessee last week. And now go on the road to play number 8 Clemson, big rivalry game. They play every year. On rivalry week, noon on ABC. Clemson 14.5-point favorites. Can the Cocks keep the momentum going into November?
I'm interested to see if DJ can handle the Cocks, because the hooker could clearly not handle all the Cocks.
No.
But so yeah, I was on Tennessee minus 23, and I was riding back to Dallas when that game started, and Cox scored early, Tennessee scored, and then Cox went up 21-7, and then we had it on the car, and I was like, I want South Carolina to win. I just think that'd be fun, and I no longer care about my bet. And it turned out that way because Spencer Rattler just went off. I've never seen anything like it. It scares me that you phrase it as they took 1 game off in October and put it in November, because that would mean that they don't have any more games, and they're going to get demolished here. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm taking the Cox plus 14.5 for the sole reason of I still don't think Clemson's very good. And if they could outduel Hendon Hooker for most of the game when he was in, and then the backup when he was in, then I think they can outduel DJ and Jordan Shipley and whoever else they want to throw at the Cox.
Yeah. I don't know if DJ is going to be able to handle the Cox that well either. He is. I'm still under the belief as well that Clemson is not that good. I'm still under the belief, even with their loss this past week, that North Carolina is going to win the ACC championship next week. I'm going Clemson. I mean, I'm an idiot. South Carolina plus 14.5 here. I think they keep it within 2 touchdowns in a rivalry game, even though they're probably going to get wrecked because Cocktober is officially over. But I'm gonna ride the wave. I'm gonna ride the momentum.
Yeah, it's interesting that we're both 7.5, 14.5. We're on the other side of that. I don't know if I'd love Michigan as much as I do at that spread with 6.5 or 7, but with that added hook there, that helps. And maybe the key there isn't that DJ is not able to handle the Cox. It's the key is Dabo can't handle the Cox because he's too homophobic for it. Maybe that's the key.
He's definitely handled them before, though. So.
Okay.
Yeah. The hooks make a big difference there. As soon as those, if those get bet down to 14 and 7, I
could be different.
I don't like them as much anymore. Could be a different story. Going to our next game here, 3:30 ABC. Number 9 Oregon going on the road to number 21 Oregon State. If Oregon wins this game, they clinch a spot in the Pac-12 championship. Or they're 3-point favorites on the road, which seems there's not a lot of fishy lines this week. But if there was one, I think this may be it.
Yeah, it's just Oregon State hasn't been good, right? I assume, having not watched a second of Oregon State football since they played USC.
I mean, they've been crushing teams. They kept it close with Washington on the road. It was 24-21.
Okay. Oh, and then they beat up on Arizona State, Colorado, Washington State. Okay. So they've been decent. I guess that's just a reason the line is where it is. Oregon didn't look great last week, right? Because they were up 17-3 at half. Yeah, 17-3 at half. And then just the second half, they didn't start Bo Nix. And then the backup, I think his first pass got returned for a touchdown. And that was 17-10 in one-score game. And Oregon was dominating that whole first half. And then they just immediately give up pick 6. But they eventually kicked a field goal in the second half, and that was enough to seal the deal and push our bet on the pod. And we both took Oregon money line in real life because they ended up being 2.5 3-point dogs. And as long as Bo Nix played, then we were fine. But here, I definitely think Bo Nix plays. Haven't heard anything about that, but I have to assume he's playing. And this is a big rivalry game that they need to win as they go into the Pac-12 championship game. It's a letdown spot for them, look ahead spot. But I just have to take Oregon -3 here, even though there's some signs that are saying to take Oregon State.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, Oregon's been a pretty solid team all year, with the exception of week 1.
Yeah,
they got it still bewilders me that they lost 49-3, but that happened, then immediately came back and scored 70, which is just hilarious. But yeah, I have to go Oregon -3 here. Hopefully they don't sit Bo Nix this week.
Is that something they would consider? Is just sitting Bo Nix against their rival to save him for the Pac-12 championship game? But you have to make the Pac-12 championship game.
Yeah, you have to win that game, or else you're in trouble with Washington later that night. So, I think they're playing him.
Yeah, that you have to play him. Hey guys, this is a special sneak peek behind the scenes. Kyle's going to get his food. I am in Arizona for Thanksgiving break, and Kyle is still in New York. I think he lives in New York. So he's going to get his food because I have to record on Mountain Time, and I have to deal with my family being here. So, yeah, I'm going to edit the rest of this out, but hope you're enjoying the show. And yeah, if you want to look at the Maction, Ball State is up 14-0. Miami, Ohio is going in to score. And I believe Ohio is winning. Yeah, they're up 14-7 now. All right. So that's all.
All right, 7:30 ABC for the next game. In LA, one of the classic rivalry games in college football. Number 15 Notre Dame going on the road to number 6 USC. USC are 5.5-point favorites, but Notre Dame have been spoilers this year, like mad, knocking out the ACC, beating both North Carolina and Clemson. They have a chance to knock out a rival this week. But USC is also going to be scorned about being number 6. So, how the hell is this going to go?
I'm really interested to see. I think this is obviously the best, well, not best because Michigan Ohio State, but second best game of the week for sure. Notre Dame can knock out 2 conferences, or USC could add Notre Dame to its list of finishing the season by beating UCLA, beating Notre Dame, beating Oregon. You would think that USC could, they can't really look ahead to Oregon because Notre Dame is still number 15 and Oregon's 10-15 still, I assume. So I have to take USC here because I don't think Notre Dame can slow down that offense. And USC hasn't shown me that they can really be stopped yet. They needed a weird game at Utah to make them lose. But yeah, I'm taking USC here.
I am going to take USC -5.5 here as well. I think this is weirdly going to be, I mean, every USC game is a shootout, but it's weirdly going to be a shootout because Notre Dame's probably going to run all over them because they have the advantage in the trenches. But USC is going to pass all over Notre Dame. And and that is going to make for a high-scoring game in its own weird way. But I think USC just has more gas in the tank to turn it up and score a ton of points that I just think in the end Notre Dame's not going to be able to handle. So Notre Dame, USC -5.5. It is. And
is this game at Notre Dame or at USC?
At USC.
Oh, okay. I was confused for a second. I have to fix that in the graphic.
Yeah, Notre Dame weather might have changed my opinion on this game.
True.
But we got sunny California to deal with. And then the last game we're going to talk about here, 8 p.m. Fox at the same time. Unranked Kansas going on the road to number 12 Kansas State. This game, if Kansas State wins, they clinch a spot in the Big 12 championship game. So huge implications here. K-State, 12-point favorites. JP, you think they're going to blow them out?
I do. I feel like this is a big deal to Kansas State as Miami, Ohio kicks a field goal, down 14-3. This is a big deal to them. It's not they can't really look ahead to Kansas State or to TCU in the Big 12 championship game, even though by the time this game starts, they will know exactly whether they need to win or if they can afford to lay off a little bit. I just don't think they're going to lay off of Kansas. Kansas is really excited about this being the season they haven't had in so long. And I don't think Kansas State likes that. Kansas State is the football team in Kansas. And unfortunately, I experienced that firsthand a couple weeks ago. So I think Kansas State is going to kill them in this game. Will Howard is somehow a great quarterback, which I would not have guessed. And Kansas State could be a sneaky upset pick against TCU come next week. I would not be surprised if that line is closer than people are going to think.
Yeah, that is going to be a really close line. I think if K-State gets there, it might be like 3.5 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It might be 3.5 the other way because I don't think the books believe in TCU yet.
That'd be so funny.
We're this far and they're and there's close lines every week, but no, I think this one's a rivalry game. I mean, Jalen Daniels is back. He looked all right last week. I mean, Kansas got mollywopped, but that wasn't to the fault of him, really. Mm-hmm. So I think he's good enough to keep this game close for Kansas. They're coming out 7-5 Kansas would be crazy. I don't think that's going to happen. I think K-State wins, Kansas covers.
Fair. So if we're looking at the best bets next, I can start. I'm looking at Arkansas at Missouri. Arkansas is -3. I like them to cover there. I think they showed something against LSU. They showed a lot more beating Ole Miss last week, which I know neither of us expected. So I guess I have to be on board with Arkansas now.
Pig.
Yeah, Whoopig. So yeah. And then Ryan is back this week for his best bet. He had Kansas last week, so we won't talk about that much. But he is on the Ohio State Michigan over, which is 57 as of this recording. So he's taking that one, and that's kind of why I said, well, if there's rain, there's rain. But hopefully they can still score points for him. And then what do you have?
I am on USC -5.5. It's a game we already covered, so I don't really have to go into it. But they're going to be scorned after being number 6. They gotta prove a point. They gotta prove a point to get past LSU here, and to get past potentially the Michigan-Ohio State loser, to put themselves in a prime spot. So they'll need to prove a point in this game, and I think they do by just putting up like 60 points.
60 points. Wow.
60 points is aggressive. Probably 35. But
in a game where the total is set at 64.5.
Yeah. Probably 35.
Go take the USC team total alternate over 59.5, and then blame Kyle if that doesn't hit.
Yeah, go do that.
Yeah. So for the parlay, we talked about it. We talked a little bit about Ole Miss just now. I think with losing to Arkansas last week, Ole Miss needs to make a statement this week. And then Kyle, you're kind of talking about the Lane Kiffin situation. I don't know if you had any more thoughts you wanted to share about that, but Mississippi is the first leg of our podcast parlay.
Absolutely ridiculous. So somebody came out and tweeted that Lane Kiffin is leaving due to his sources, and then literally everybody shut it down, including Lane Kiffin immediately. He did you see he printed out a piece of paper? Mm-hmm. He printed out a termination letter for that reporter and posted it on Twitter.
Yeah, Yeah, Mad Lane on Twitter is excellent. So, if he's truly staying in Ole Miss, then I like them to I like them to cover in this game, but B, since they're only 2.5-point favorites, throw the money line in this parlay. If he's not, then maybe they lose to Mississippi State. And then actually, no, if he's not going to stay, he wants to beat Mississippi State one more time, win the Egg Bowl, and then he can ride out on a bowl victory. The other leg is UNC money line. UNC are, I believe, 6.5-point favorites against NC State. NC State is still ranked for some god unknown reason.
No, they're not. They're officially out now.
Are they? They're still ranked in the 8 people.
From the CFP, they're out.
Yeah. I don't know why anyone thinks that they need to be ranked over anybody, but I think UNC is going to win that game. Rivalry game. Obviously, you don't need to win to clinch anything for the conference championship, but can't really look ahead to Clemson there when you know that that's your rival and you're obviously the better team. So
and it's a bounce back game for them as well.
It is. Big loss for them to Georgia Tech last week. That does not help the ACC's chances of somehow making the playoff if everything goes haywire.
Yeah, no. That kind of killed it. But yeah, so UNC and Ole Miss, and by the way, that parlay is going to be done before Saturday. So with the way that our parlays have been going this year,
you'll have plenty of other money to bet. You'll have plenty of profits to bet other games with on Saturday. That's nice of us. Good for us.
Yeah. 3-1 so far, up 4 something units on that.
4.06.
Let's go. Now on to the next point. Do all the button stuff. Press the button there.
Like, share, subscribe. Yeah, only a couple of these left. I assume we'll do one next week for the conference championship game.
Yeah. We'll probably touch on all of them a little bit, even the shitty ones.
Yeah, throw the American in there.
Maction.
Throw the ACC in there, I guess.
Throw the Big Ten in there.
Yeah, that might be the worst game.
It probably will be the worst game of the whole slate. No matter who wins the Michigan-Ohio State game, they're probably going to be like 25-point favorites against the other division winner.
Like I said, it's exact repeat of last year. Iowa was just god-awful game last year. And Iowa's offense is not getting better. But no. Yeah, we'll come back for that, and then we'll see if we get something up for bowl season. Yeah, and all from me. Anything else, Kyle?
That's it from me. The Canes fighting to be bowl eligible this week, so it's been a struggle. Got to beat Pitt. I've been saying all year that Pitt sucked. If you remember from the beginning, I've been saying that Pitt sucked and are overrated. So this is the chance for a really bad Miami team to prove it and become bowl eligible. So
you just faded them last week and it worked out. So I assume you'll be fading them again.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to the Canes. Good luck to the Bears. Hope they somehow clinch the conference championship game for Kansas State. Or they can ruin my Friday. That'll be fine too.
And good luck to everybody else as well, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Best of luck, guys.